Good morning. We want to welcome you this morning to the Drainage District Board of Directors meeting posted for today, January the 16th, 2018. Present are Commissioner Fuentes, Precinct 2, Commissioner Cantu, Precinct 1, Commissioner Fuentes, Commissioner Cantu, Precinct 2, Commissioner Palacios, Precinct 4, and myself. We have a quorum. Please join us in prayer.
Thank you, Judge. Let us pray. Father God, we give you thanks again for another beautiful day that you've given us, Lord. We continue to pray for your wisdom and your understanding that you provide that to this elected board that you've appointed, Lord, this judge and commissioners that lead this great county of ours. Continue to bless them, Lord. Continue to provide your guidance, Lord. We continue to lift those that are battling illnesses, Lord. We lift them up to you, that your son's healing hand may be upon them, Lord, their families as well, as they deal with whatever illness they're fighting, Lord. We continue to ask for your blessings, your guidance, Lord, to myself, to our staff, to our great leadership that's here in this county, Lord. Our elected officials, all other elected officials of this great county, and all other leaders of this great county, Lord. May they have your wisdom when they make those decisions that affect them all. Be with us, Lord, during this cold front. Keep those that need the warmth and the comfort. Provide for them, Lord. Help us provide for them as well, Lord. Just ask this in your Son Jesus' name. Amen.
Under open forum, we have one presenter. That's Mr. Jay Rodriguez.
Just a quick comment. I'd like to commend District 1 on a fantastic job that they're doing. Concerns have been brought up to them, and they've addressed them quite rapidly and taking care of them. So I just want to tell them, great job done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
Item 4, our consent agenda. Any concern?
Not that I'm aware of, Judge. No, sir. Everything's in order.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge. Item 5, discuss consideration and action to establish a number and appoint members in the evaluation committee for the RFQ number ACDD 1-18-0020-117, construction manager at risk for the Alcown Drainage District Number 1 New Administration Building Project pursuant to Texas Law Government Code Chapter 2269253. What we're trying to do here is establish a committee that will be evaluating the submittals by the contractors that will be interested in working with us on this new facility that we're building for the drainage district. So our consultant, B2Z Engineering, is recommending that we establish probably a 3 or 5 member committee. Administratively, usually it's who's done and has experience, preferably in construction. So I know that the county, I think, has done this type of work in the past, is my understanding, with the facility, one of the facilities, I believe. I want to say it was Precinct 2, I believe.
Yeah, we've done one, Raul. We had a 3-member committee. We're working on our second one, so we've kind of learned the process along with purchasing on how to do it. However, I can be involved if I can help you. I think you just need a 3-member team, really.
Okay. Well, I mean, we'd like to recommend. Obviously, I would like to recommend myself to help evaluate the contractor. I mean, Commissioner, if you're interested in serving, that would help us tremendously with your experience that you already have dealing with this.
I don't have a problem.
If I may, I can recommend Commissioner Cantu to that committee, and the 3rd member would be Mr. Jaime Salazar, my operations manager. If that's okay with the board.
Absolutely. Move to approve. Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Great. Thank you. Item 6, request and acceptance and approval of work authorization number 1 in the amount of $16,419.74 as submitted by LNG Engineering in relation to professional CMT service for the Alamo Lateral and Cesar Chavez Drain Project Phase 2 through water contract C8CDD 1-17-056-1107 for the Alcown Drainage District Number 1 on-call professional construction material services, subject to legal review and compliance with House Bill 1295.
Move for approval. Second.
Those Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 7, request an exemption from competitive bidding requirements under Texas Local Government Code 262.024A4 for professional engineering services.
So moved. Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Presentation and scoring grid for the purpose of ranking by city board members and directors, firm graded and evaluated to the district board. Approved pool of engineering firms for the provision of engineering services, professional engineering services for Farm McAllen South Drain Construction Project. The ranking is 98 SMB Infrastructure Limited, Urban Infrastructure Group for 95, and South Texas Infrastructure Group, and 91 with the board like to rank as stated.
Sure. Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item C, pursuant to the board's approval, request authority for Dow County Drainage Number 1 to negotiate professional engineering service agreement, number rank firm of SMB Infrastructure Limited, for the provisions of professional engineering service for the McAllen South Drain Construction Project.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you. Item 8, approval to issue payment on the following item, invoice PP 17-21 2017 in the amount of $105,481.37 from Leon County Precinct Number 4 for reimbursement of labor, machine hours, and fuel related to the construction of J09 project, pay period 17 through 21 of 2017.
So moved. Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you. Item 9, we do have a posted item under pending, on their pending and potential litigation. So,
Pursuant to 551, 071, and 072 of the Texas Government Code, I would entertain a motion to proceed to executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. We are going to be in executive session for a short while.
What's that, sir?
All right, can we have your attention, please? We are back in open session.
thank you. 10A, real estate acquisition, no action. 10B, penetrative litigation, and C will proceed as directed.
Move to adjourn. Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Thank you, sir. At this time, we're going to be convening our regular meeting of the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court, posted for today, January the 16th, 2018. Present are Commissioner Fuentes, Precinct 1, Commissioner Cantu, Precinct 2, Commissioner Palacios, Precinct 4, and myself. We have a quorum. Please join us in our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for your blessings. Thank you for keeping us here, keeping us alive. Thank you for the gift of family, friendship. Thank you for this country that is bountiful to us. We ask you to send the Holy Spirit upon the County Commission, illumine their minds to guide their actions to take the best decisions in order to perform the best for this Hidalgo County. We pray for all the veterans that they receive the benefits they deserve, for all the citizens of this country that they live in peace and freedom, and also for all the immigrants that they are protected and receive the benefits they deserve. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen. Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Thank you.
Are there any concerns with the consent agenda?
Yes, sir. If I may, we can take out of order consent agenda item 11B, 11E, 13A, and 13I.
Move to approve without the exceptions as noted.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
11 consent agenda 11B and consent agenda item 11E. We're recommending approval with respect to the membership dues affidavit to be attached or to be presented on Constable 1 and for Constable 2 under membership dues. As a correction, the requisition number is 363728.
Move to approve.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Consent agenda, item 13A and 13I, again, recommend approval, subject to the documents being
The compliance.
being presented, would be Form 1295.
I will note for the record that on 13I, I am going to be checking with our guidance contact, which is the DA's office civil section, because here we're merely restating the amounts. We don't know that necessarily the 1295 is required, but we nevertheless will depend on their guidance. I still recommend approval based on that.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. All right, at this time, we've been requested to move up item number 20B.
Yes, Judge and
under
Commissioners.
Precinct 4.
Yes, Judge and Commissioners, as we prepare to call upon some in the audience that are going to join us on this item, a little history. Obviously, we've been paying attention to national news on DACA, and it's something that's coming out for the Congress to address. Obviously, March 6th is a deadline for DACA, which is going to affect more than 700,000 residents throughout the United States. It's in the hand of Congress, Judge and Commissioners, and there are 4 variation bills: the RAC Act, Bridge Act, Succeed Act, and the DREAM Act, or more updated Clean Dream Act. One of the things we took a position is obviously the effect that's going to happen to our local families. It's a resolution that I'd like to read for the record and for the court to consider. Whereas DACA, which stands for Deferred Action Childhood Arrivals, was an executive action rendered in 2012 by President Barack Obama to protect the children and immigrants by preventing their deportation and providing them with the right to obtain an education and the right to work in the United States. And whereas DACA covers approximately 80,000 individuals in the United States, and whereas Hidalgo County is eighth largest county by population in Texas, is the most populated county bordering Mexico, and whereas Hidalgo County has a particularly high number of DACA beneficiaries, many of whom are distinguished community pillars, and they bring skills, ingenuity, and resilience that contribute to the growth and competitiveness of our region. And whereas statistics show that DACA recipients are high-achieving Americans who create businesses at twice the rate of the public as a whole and who are employed at a rate of 90%. And whereas DACA recipients have passed background checks and pose no threat to our country. And whereas in September of 2007, President Donald J. Trump rescinded DACA, and as a result, hundreds of thousands of DACA recipients now face the threat of deportation in upcoming months. And whereas holding DACA legislation hostage to the approval of the construction of the border wall is discriminatory and unworkable. And whereas DACA recipients are American in every sense except of their legal status. Therefore, Hidalgo County calls on our federal leadership to pass legislation allowing DACA recipients to lawfully stay in the country they call home. Hidalgo County further joins the collective voice of many requests made to Congress to pass bipartisan legislation providing these young Americans a permanent solution they deserve. Approved this 16th day of January 2018.
And Commissioners, if we could have Padre Rene read it in Spanish for the public.
Corte de Comisionados del Condado de Hidalgo, resolución que apoya el programa DACA. Considerando que DACA establece el apoyo a los jóvenes que vinieron al país cuando eran niños, fue una orden ejecutiva del presidente Barack Obama en el año 2012 para proteger a niños de inmigrantes, evitando su deportación y otorgándoles el derecho a la educación y al trabajo en los Estados Unidos. Considerando que DACA consiste en aproximadamente en 800,000 individuos en los Estados Unidos. Considerando que el condado de Hidalgo es el 8º condado con mayor población en el estado de Texas. Considerando que el condado de Hidalgo es el condado con mayor población entre los condados fronterizos con México y en el estado de Texas. Considerando que el condado de Hidalgo tiene particularmente un gran número de beneficiarios de DACA, muchos de los cuales son distinguidos pilares de la comunidad que nos brindan habilidades, ingenio y resiliencia, contribuyendo al crecimiento y competitividad de nuestra región. Considerando que las estadísticas muestran que los destinatarios de DACA son americanos con un alto grado de rendimiento que crean negocios el doble de veces más que el público en general y que tienen una tasa de empleo del 90%. Considerando que los jóvenes de DACA no tienen antecedentes penales y no presentan ser un peligro para el país. Considerando que en septiembre del 2017 el presidente Donald Trump anuló DACA y como resultado cientos de miles de jóvenes de DACA enfrentan ahora un riesgo de deportación. Considerando que mantener la legislación de DACA como rehén para aprobar la construcción del muro fronterizo es discriminatoria e imposible. Y considerando que los beneficiarios de DACA son americanos en todos los aspectos, excepto por su estado migratorio, por consiguiente, el Condado de Hidalgo pide a nuestros líderes federales que pasen la legislación que permita a los beneficiarios de DACA a permanecer legalmente en el país que ellos sienten que es suyo. El Condado de Hidalgo se une a las voces colectivas de las múltiples demandas hechas al Congreso para pasar la legislación que les ofrezca a esos jóvenes americanos la solución permanente que merecen.
Thank you.
Did you make a motion?
We had a motion. Is that-
Second?
Make sure I make a motion.
I'll second.
All right, those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries unanimously.
Thanks, Judge.
Did you want to handle the second one as well, Judge?
Yes, on the AHEC system.
No, there's an item under that.
Let me go to B2. Excuse me. Authority to and action to submit copy of the resolution supporting the continuing protections under the Deferred Action of Childhood Arrivals Program to the Federal Congressman Filemon Vela, Federal Congressman Henry Cuellar, Federal Congressman Vicente Gonzalez, Federal Senator John Cornyn, Federal Senator Ted Cruz, and the United States President Donald J. Trump.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Valdez. It's over.
Okay, everybody look at me. Ready? 1, 2, 3. One more. Ready? 1, 2, and 3.
Buena suerte.
De nada. Esto es. Igualmente, good luck. Good luck. Gusto verlo.
Nos venimos en contra, pero otra vez muchas gracias. Gracias por todo.
Buena suerte.
Thank you. I'll take it.
All right, we move back to item number 5, our district attorney's office.
Please come up, please, Lamar. Lamar also here? Okay, make sure they come up. Make sure they come up. Make sure they come up. Good morning.
Morning.
Judge, Commissioners, thank you again for having us here this morning, and everyone else who joined us here for this proclamation. Yesterday we celebrated an important holiday, Martin Luther King Day. And, Martin Luther King fought so hard for justice, for equality, and for freedom. That stems all the way back from the Emancipation Proclamation that was given by Abraham Lincoln. And today we find ourselves here still fighting for freedom, for justice, and for equality when we talk about human trafficking. As you see, we have so many individuals that are here with us. We have students from Memorial Student Council. We have students from Lamar School as well. Is that correct? We have our crime victims unit and our advocates, and also joining us here today is Lupe as well. So, Fuerza Unida. Am I missing anyone else? And Arise. Fuerza Unida and Arise. Fuerza del Valle as well. we have Sullivan PD, Hidalgo PD, our crime advocates as well. And I'm sure everyone else who's out there listening to us who would want to join us here today. But here we are, from the youth to us to the elderly. Everyone in our community who's involved and engaged in bringing prevention and awareness, especially this month, to human trafficking. There's so many individuals across our nation and the world that have lost their freedom, there's been no justice for them, and it's here in the Rio Grande Valley as well also in our nation. So we are here committed. We are here to do everything that we can to be able to stop this, to be able to bring prevention and awareness to our community on human trafficking. I'm going to pass it on to Rosie. She can say a few words, and then I'm going to allow our student council president from Memorial to read the proclamation.
Good morning, Commissioners, Judge. First of all, thank you so much for always supporting our prevention events. We are very happy to work with all the youth in our community because we understand that we need to inspire them, and not just inspire them, but encourage them to take action and be those leaders of that action to create that social movement that we're looking for. So I commend all the students that are here today because it takes a lot at that young age to stand up for what is wrong and look for justice. So this is all for them. They're organizing an event on Saturday. Hopefully you guys can join us. We're going to be there on Saturday at the McAllen Memorial Stadium. They organized a walk for the entire community, not just for their school district. So we encourage everybody to participate with them. And then, of course, all the agencies that are here with us are part of the Rio Grande Valley Human Trafficking Coalition. We have the chairperson here as well. And all those agencies work the entire year organizing and providing services to victims of human trafficking, including our office. So we commend them also for the work that they do out in the community to assist those victims that are out there in trying to get services and be free of enslavement. Thank you.
And also joining us today and assisting us was Commissioner Cantu as well. I believe there was a school that also was invited by Commissioner Cantu. So thank you very much, Commissioner. And we'll have now Patricia Rocha who will read the proclamation with permission.
Thank you. Whereas the United States was founded on the principle that all people are born with unalienable rights to freedom, yet millions of people worldwide are victims of human trafficking. During National Human Rights Trafficking Prevention Month, we acknowledge the forms of slavery still exist in the modern era, and we recommit ourselves to stopping the human traffickers who ply this horrific trade. And whereas as we continue our fight to deliver on the promise of freedom, we commemorate the Emancipation Proclamation, which frees the slaves of the Confederate States on January 1st, 1863, and the 13th Amendment, which abolished slavery in 1865. Throughout the month of January 2018, we highlight the many fronts of the ongoing battle for civil rights, including efforts of the Hidalgo County District Attorney's Office and the Rio Grande Valley Human Trafficking Coalition, which is comprised of federal, state, and local enforcement agencies, prosecutors, victim service agencies, and social services providers who are working to end human trafficking. And whereas the victim of human trafficking are men and women, adults and children, yet all are denied basic human dignity and freedom. Victims can be abused in their own countries or find themselves far from home. Whether they are trapped in forced sexual or labor exploitation, human trafficking victims can't walk away but are held in service throughout force, threats, and fear, all too often suffering from horrible physical and sexual abuse. It is hard for them to imagine that there will be a place of refuge. And whereas we must join together as a community in Hidalgo County to provide a safe haven by protecting victims and prosecuting traffickers, with improved victim identification and medical and social services, training for first responders, and increased public awareness, the men, women, and children who have suffered this scourge can overcome the bond of modern slavery, receive protection and justice, and successfully reclaim their rightful independence. And whereas fighting of human trafficking is a shared responsibility, this month, Hidalgo County residents are urged to educate themselves about all forms of modern slavery and the science of consequences of human trafficking. Together, we can and must end this most serious ongoing criminal civil rights violation. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court does hereby proclaim January 2018 as a National Human Trafficking Prevention Month, and calls upon the people of Hidalgo County to observe the month with appropriate programs and activities and to recognize the vital role we can play in ending human trafficking.
Well, thank you all so much for taking this theme. It's so important. Let me introduce myself. My name is Hector Guzman Lopez. I work for a worker center. We support workers that are not getting paid by their employers or getting sexually harassed, beaten, and in the worst situations, unfortunately, labor trafficking. We wish we wouldn't have to see this, but let me tell you, in the last year alone, we've documented 11 cases of workers in the Rio Grande Valley held against their will and forced to work. Modern-day slavery, right? It's outrageous. We all need to do our part to fight this. I want to invite the public to a big conference we do every year at South Texas College. This year it's called Más Allá de la Frontera, Global Responses to Human Trafficking. Totally free for the public from the 23rd to the 25th of April. We offer CEUs for social workers and also TCO for law enforcement as our effort to raise consciousness and build that capacity for our community to be able to combat human trafficking. I have some flyers if people are interested, and you can Google it as well.
Thank you. At this time, we're asking Judge and Commissioners Court to accept and pass a proclamation declaring January 2018 a National Human Trafficking Prevention Month. Our office and along with everyone who is present here today.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you very much
for
again,
being here, Judge.
Judge, Commissioners, for your consideration and everything. We also have in attendance Larry Esparza, one of the school board members from McAllen. Also a great, that everybody knows here, school board member who's on in the morning during football season, Larry McDonald. So thank you, Tony, for being here. McAllen School District Assistant Principal who's also here joining us in this great effort, along with the students as well.
Wish I were Joe Floaters.
Not Joe.
One, two, and
job. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Thanks for being here. Thank you so much. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Being here. Thank you for being here. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. Thank you for being here.
Larry.
Thanks for being here, Larry. Thank you. Hey, Toby, what's up, brother? How are you, man? Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Thank you. Great job, bud. Thank you. Yes, sir. No problem. Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much. No problem.
Judge, could we do 20A, just so we can let the Dr. Renault and then go back to the university?
Okay. Our next agenda item is item number 20A.
Yes, Judge. Thank you for taking this item out of the agenda. If I could have Dr. Renault and Ms. Lydia Maldonado come join us.
Oh, there he is.
On 20A. And Eddie, thank you. 20A is discussion and possible action regarding Commissioner Joseph Palacios' appointment to the Community Advisory Board for the Area Health Education Center at San Carlos, Hidalgo County. And Eddie, if you can just give us a background to the AHEC program, and then I'll wrap up with some comments.
Very good. Oh, good morning, Judge Commissioners. Eddie Olivares, Hidalgo County Health and Human Services. As you know, Dr. John Renault, Senior Associate Dean with the University, and Commissioner Palacios and his office have worked very closely on developing the area health educational centers. That's all been ratified and in place. There's a plan to get this whole operational component. Part of it is it requires to have a community collaboration group or advocacy group that's part of the grant requirements. We went with Commissioner Palacios and asked him to assist us in developing some local interest and getting some local appointees to the point. This committee is essential to this grant and to the development of the program there locally. So, Commissioner Palacios, thank you for this opportunity.
Judge and Commissioners, I'd like to appoint Lydia Maldonado. She's one of the original residents of the San Carlos area and a lifelong advocate for the community. I know that her husband, Adan Maldonado, is here. He's also a community pillar. But I think that with this unique program, we couldn't find a better suited representative for the San Carlos community, and I'd like to appoint her to serve on that board.
Second.
You need a motion? I'd like to make that motion for that appointment.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Yes, I thank you all. And this was we have been waiting for this for a long time, and I think the people of San Carlos will get, as you know, the tragedy that happened about 2 weeks ago, and that had happened before in our family that lost their mother the same way. And we should need all of these services, especially the clinic of all the people of San Carlos. The people of San Carlos are willing to work with all of us. They're good people. It's a pure community, but they always volunteer. You can always find volunteers there in the town of San Carlos.
Yes.
And I'm very happy, and thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Okay. Thank you.
And if we could take a picture.
Oh, yeah.
Can you come up with your family?
don't see it.
This is the big reach, brother. This is huge.
Ready? And then I can't see what this hat yet. Just go over. Perfect. Ready? 1, 2, and 3. Let me get one more. 1, 2, and 3. Perfect. Thank you.
Thanks for being here. Thank you. Thanks for being here. Yes, sir. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here. Good to see you.
We will now move back to item number 6, our Sheriff's Office.
Good morning, Joel Rivera, Division Chief with the Sheriff's Office, on behalf of Sheriff Guerra. Agenda item 6A, approval of certification of revenues as certified by County Auditor.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
To approval of appropriation of funds in the jail commissary account in the amount of $209,578.
So moved. Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Agenda item 6B, authorization to accept the approval notice in reference to the rifle-resistant body armor grants in the amount of $259,470.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
2, authorization and approval for county judge as authorized official to electronically accept the grant award form and related documents.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
3, approval of certification of revenues as certified by the county auditor for the rifle-resistant body armor grant.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
4, approval to appropriate the budget for the Sheriff's Office rifle-resistant body armor grant in the amount of $259,470.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Item 7, Constable, Precinct 1.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners. Martin Blanco on behalf of Constable Celestino Avila, Precinct 1. I only have one item. Item 7A, number 1, authorization to accept the approval notice in reference to rifle-resistant body armor grant for the amount of $6,822.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Number 2, authorization and approval for county judge as authorized official to electronically accept grant award from and related documents.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Number 3, approval of certification of revenues as certified by the county auditor for the rifle-resistant body armor grant.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Number 4, approval to appropriate the budget for Hidalgo County Constable Precinct 1 rifle-resistant body armor grant in the amount of $6,822.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Jim. Have a good day.
Item 8, Constable, Precinct 2.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Lombardo Guerra, and on behalf of Precinct 2,
Morning, sir.
Constable Martin Cantu, I have one item. Item is going to be authorization to accept the approval notice in reference to rifle-resistant body armor grant for the amount of $21,977.28.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Number 2, authorization and approval for county judge as authorized official to electronically accept grant award form and related documents.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
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 Aye, motion carries.
And number 3, approval of certification of revenues as certified by the county auditor for the rifle resistance body armor grant.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And number 4, approval to appropriate the budget for the Constable Precinct 2 Office Rifle Resistant Body Armor Grant in the amount of $21,977.28.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
That's all I have, Judge.
Thank
Thank
you.
Thank you.
Item 9, Constable, Precinct 3.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Morning.
Chief Deputy Gonzalez for Precinct 3, Constable's Office. Today we have authorization to accept approved notice reference to the Rifle Resistant Body Armor Grant for the amount of $9,024.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Make a motion. Second.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Number 2, authorization and approval for the county judge as authority official to electronically accept grant award forms and related documents.
Move for approval. Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Approval of certification of revenues as certified by the county auditor for the Rifle Resistant Body Armor Grant.
So move.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Approval to appropriate the budget for the Hidalgo County Precinct 3 Rifle Resistant Body Armor Grant in the amount of $9,024.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Item 10, Constable Precinct 4.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Morning.
Morning, Constable.
10A, Judge, Constable Precinct 4, the ratification of acceptance of the approval notice in reference to Rifle Resistance Body Armor Grant for the amount of $6,064.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And 2, ratification of approval for county judge as authorized official to electronically accept grant award form and related documents.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
3, approval of certification of revenues as certified by the county auditor for the Rifle Resistance Body Armor Grant.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And 4, approval for the appropriate appropriate the budget for the Hidalgo County Constable Precinct 4 Rifle Resistance Body Armor Grant in the amount of $6,064.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
That's all I've got, Judge. Thank you, and enjoy the cold weather is coming tomorrow.
Thank you, sir. Item 11, our tax office.
Judge, Commissioners, if I may, these are claims for a vendor. We're requesting approval of a claim for the following with authority of the County Treasurer to issue payment after review and audit procedures are completed by the County Auditor. The vendor is MCI, and I'll list the amounts: 3103, 34.27, 34.75, and 34.43 respectively, and therefore the location area is 300 East Hackberry, Suite 3 in McAllen.
So
Move for approval. Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
I'm sorry, Judge, Commissioners, as a disclosure for 11A, there's a point of information, date of approval by Commissioners Court of the MCI phone service agreement, and a copy of the agreement is needed in order to process the claims. We'll go ahead and get all the appropriate paperwork done for you. Thank you, ma'am. Judge, Commissioners, if I may continue, item 12, there's nothing to report under item 12A, 1 and 2. 12B is approval of an order appointing Maria Arcilia Duran as County Auditor for a 2-year term, December 4th, 2017 through December 3rd, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item C is requesting permission by the Edinburgh Chamber of Commerce to use the county square for the 50th Annual Fiesta Edinburgh celebration on Saturday, February 24th, 2018 at 10 a.m.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item D is approval of the 2018 museum funding agreement between County of Hidalgo and Museum of South Texas History in the amount of $460,000.
So move.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And item E, under Facilities Manager, requesting approval of payment of claim of the following with authority for County Treasurer to issue payment after review and auditing procedures are completed by our County Auditor. The vendor is Matheson Tri-Gas, Inc. The amounts are $112.50 and $116.25 respectively.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
Thank you, Judge Commissioners.
Item 13, our Human Resources.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Raul Salguero presenting for Human Resources. Item 13A, we need approval of this item. It's requesting a waiver of the budget amendment policy for personnel-related amendments for personnel actions that will be listed below.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
Commissioners, I have item 13B for the tax office. Mr. Villarreal is here to provide any details that are needed beyond what I'm going to speak about. Mr. Villarreal is asking for the deletion of 10 vacant positions as listed. They're deputy clerk ones, they're 10 positions, and he's asking approval, and the amount of the budgeted salaries for those positions is $269,311. And then the next item is the creation of 8 positions, and there's a correction on the last position, number 0200. It should be 41,047, and the total cost should be 269,311. It should be the same as the deletion. I have been working with Mr. Villarreal over a couple of years to give him the opportunity to assign multiple program duties to his deputy clerks because of the nature of his work and the multiple substations, and that means creating the different levels of positions, and so this is the result where opportunities come about. When he has vacancies, we're able to do this. He can provide more detail, but this will allow him to assign additional dual program duties, tax collections and vehicle registration to some of the staff. Paul?
Morning, Judge, Commissioners. Definitely, this position, like I said, there's no budget impact. What we've done, we have 155 employees, so what we try to do is cross-train the people that know tax with motor vehicle and the people that know just motor vehicle with tax. So it's been able to help us. Sometimes when we're short, we have 8 offices throughout the county, so when we're short, we'll send some of those people that are cross-trained into Westlaco, into Alamo, Edca Chelsea, or maybe in the Palmville area or FAR. So that's why we're trying to just create some parity with this position with no budget impact. Right now, that's you.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, Paul, if you still had something to say.
No, I was just going to say that our county is growing, so I like to say that there's more responsibility, but I appreciate just doing what we're doing here for our staff. Right now we're at about 340,000 properties throughout the whole county, and we're at about 600,000 registered vehicles in this county. So we do get about 45,000 plus per month in our offices. So I appreciate just this gesture to help our staff.
And just to comment, Judge Commissioners, the tax office follows our step and grade plan that we have, although it's not officially adopted. We do follow it generally. So all these positions are budgeted at the step and grade that applies to them. So there's no issue with the step and grade on that.
When are you contemplating having that step and grade policy ready?
I'm hoping in a few weeks, Judge. I need to acknowledge that we fell behind schedule because of the illness of a key employee in the project who maintains the salary schedule. So Mr. Cruz is having to assign 2 other analysts to take over that, and that's I'm waiting for them to get trained, and I think we're there yet. So we should start picking up again. But I did want to give you some information.
Judge, before we go there, that previous motion was for item 1, correct? We have some other action items.
Right, we do, and I'll present it, Steve. But that was for, yes, item 1 and 2. Let me go with 3 then.
I think it was just for 1.
Oh, for 1? No, it's 1 and 2 because it's deleting and then creating.
Right, that's why I think we need another motion.
Let me revise my motion to approve item 13B1 and B2.
Second.
So that's for 1 and 2?
Yes, sir.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 3 is Scofflaw, tax office Scofflaw, the Scofflaw program they're creating. They're asking to create slot 04, deputy clerk 1 at $30,900, and that's within the Scofflaw money. And then item 4 is approval of the interdepartmental transfers, and 5, approval of appropriation of funds. So that would be, I need approval for 3,
Motion
4, and 5.
approved, 3, 4, and 5.
Second. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Judge, I just wanted you to look at that chart to address some concerns about salaries because we're not officially in the stepping grade. These are the positions that will be classified 1,986 because it excludes the Sheriff's Department. And these are the current salaries in 2017. So I need to update it, but this is, we had already had this chart. And I wanted just to show that what these numbers mean. 38% of the positions are in step 1. Current staff are in step 1 salary or below. In other words, it's 38 are in step 1 salary or below. 47.3% are between step 2 and 5. Step 5 being the midpoint of the salary range for positions. So basically, when you combine those two, 85.6% of positions are at a salary level 6 or below. The midpoint being 6. So almost 90% of the positions are at the midpoint or below. So they're not, the salaries are not the issue. There are some that are beyond step 6, but that's 14%. The issue with the step and grade is having a standardized pay plan, standardized entry-level salaries, standardized procedures for promotions, demotions, transfers, and so forth. So yeah, that's coming, Judge, and that will provide more fairness and equity across the board. But I just wanted to demonstrate that salaries are across the board are generally in good order.
All right, sir.
Okay. Item C, Judge, this is for the Sheriff's Office. This is approval to create 5 full-time temporary positions for 50 weeks, beginning 1/16/2018 and ending 12/31/2018 as follows. These are slots T446 through 450, detention officer 1, at salary of $32,305. These positions are funded through the Sheriff's Lapse Funds for people that are, the Sheriff has a lot of positions because they have a lot of young men in the detention area that are in the military, in the National Guard, and they have to be out for. So this is really to replace those people while they're out on extended leave, either military leave or mostly like, and the salaries that will be compensated for that. So that's we're asking approval for that. Those are temporary positions.
So moved. Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And this would be subject to funding. Thank you, Judge, Commissioners.
Thank you, Raul.
Item 14, Urban County.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Good morning. Welcome back.
Thank you, sir. I wanted to make sure you guys missed me. That's why I kept away. Our first item on the agenda is one for precinct. Actually, it's in Precinct 1, and it's for the City of Progresos. And we're requesting approval of a program amendment for the City of Progresos year 28 and 30 years, which are 2015 and 2017. The amendment itself will add the reconstruction of Gonzalez Street.
So moved. Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Indiana, thank you and your staff for helping us along the way with that transition.
Yes, sir. Anything we can do. Item B, Judge, if I may continue, it happens to be subject to House Bill 1295 compliance, where we are requesting the authority to purchase fire protection equipment, which happens to be bunker gear, through Hidalgo County's membership and participation with Buy Board awarded vendor, which happens to be NAFCO, contract number 432-13. The amount of the purchase is $24,677.50. And this will be for the San Juan Fire Station equipment line item.
So moved. Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Item 15, our Health Department.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Item A, sir, is approval to submit request to amend the categorical budget for Texas Healthy Commission's grant contract 2016-003876B-02. The purpose is to align the budget to within the work plan. This is our Texas Community Healthy Grant, sir.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B, sir, is requesting approval for Hidalgo County Health and Human Services Department to submit application to participate in the Public Health Association program, the Public Health Associate program, sorry. The Public Health Associate program is a 2-year program sponsored by the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, where a public health associate are assigned to public health agencies to work alongside other professionals across a variety of public health settings. This is applying to the CDC for a position, a grant position that would be provided, if given, that we could get some additional help in our epidemiology or in other areas in public health.
Move to approve.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item C1, Healthcare Funding District. There is no items under C1 unless you have any questions or any items. Item D1, Indigent Healthcare discussion and action, including but not limited to Indigent Healthcare Program 1115 waiver and or expenditures. So there was one item that we'll be bringing next week, but this is a request being made, and we're supporting our local safety net clinics. A discussion to explore rotating out station eligibility specialists, local safety net clinics. This has been something that we're working with Commissioner Palacios out of his precinct and some of our community advocacy programs. It didn't get on the agenda this week, but we'll bring it in for next week. So I just want to make sure that that's on the record. Right. There's not any questions or anything else. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Good job. Thank you, Eddie. Item 16, our fire marshal.
I apologize. I just need to ask him one quick question. Morning.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Homero Garza, your fire marshal. I've only got one item, 16A, discussion, consideration, and action regarding acceptance of auxiliary deputy fire marshals, fire investigators for appointment by fire marshal to State Licensing Commission under the Local Government Code 352, Section A, assistance.
So move. Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 2 is appointment of auxiliary assistant members. A is Miguel Guerra, B, Brian Medina.
Move to approve 2A and B.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Judge, Commissioners, just as a disclosure, I asked the marshals a question. I asked where Mr. Guerra was from, and just to make sure that there is no relationship. So there is no relationship between Miguel Guerra and myself.
That is correct. Number 3, discussion, consideration, and action on racial profiling policy.
So move.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Item 17, emergency management.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Ricardo
Good
Saldaña,
morning,
Emergency
sir.
Management Coordinator. We're here to discuss and consider the approval of MOU between the Texas Forest Service, the Regional Incident Management Team members, and the Hidalgo County with authorizing the Emergency Management Director to execute documents for the following county employees: Eduardo Olivares from Hidalgo County Health and Services, and Rolando Casas, Hidalgo County Office of Emergency Management. These two gentlemen will serve in an incident management team that provides documentations at the outlying centers like the recent Harvey response. Rolando happened to be in Fort Bend County, in Corpus Christi, and in Katy, Texas. And all they did was document all the tracking of personnel, state, federal, and local resources during those events. And should the event occur here, they will send supporting personnel to our area for our people to concentrate on our needs here.
So move.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
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 Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Item 18, our elections office.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. May I approach to give you the handout?
Thank you.
Yvonne Ramon with Elections Administration, item 18A, discussion, consideration, and action for election updates. I would like to start off by thanking our Honorable Judge Ramon Garcia. Judge, thank you so much for welcoming our Secretary of State, Honorable Rolando Pablos, that was here in our county this past Thursday. And I was not able to be a host, and our Honorable Judge was able to meet with him and take back what a wonderful county that we reside in, and he had nothing but great and positive comments. So thank you so much for doing that for our county and for the Elections Department, Judge. Thank you. The second item I have is I'd like for everyone that is here today and is listening to note that January 24th at 6 p.m., right here in this Commissioner's Court, there will be what is called a candidate forum. We held a candidate forum in 2014, 2016, and now for our primary, 2018, we will be hosting this starting at 6 p.m. What this is an open session to inform our candidates. What type of reports are available, what type of our website. We take them through our website so that they're able to maneuver, not just now, but also during the election period with our election night reporting system that we have. We go over the laws that support the primary election. We invite the city secretaries to come and talk about their electioneering policies that are different from city to city. We have a Q&A. So once again, Wednesday, January 24th, 6 p.m., right here in this Commissioner's Court. It's for candidates, their campaign managers, their treasurers, or the community that wants to be informed and wants to learn more about our upcoming primary. On Monday, February 5th is the last day to register to vote, so that's a very, very important date. Once again, if you miss that February 5th deadline, don't hesitate to register to vote immediately after that so that you can be ready to go for any runoffs that may occur. On Tuesday, February 20th is our first day of early voting, and on Friday, March 2nd will be our last day of early voting, with Tuesday, March 6th being our primary election day. You also have a calendar in your packet. It's the last sheet in the packet that I gave you. If there are no questions, then we'll move on to item B, discussion, consideration, and approval of early voting polling locations for the March 6, 2018 primary elections.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
I'm looking at what you gave us, the primary election schedule. And I know it says holiday, but you still listed Monday as being the first day.
Yes, sir. That's the way the state puts out the calendar, because if there were not a holiday on that day, then it would commence then. So many people will know that usually early voting starts on the Monday, but because of the holiday, then all items transfer to the next business day. So actually the early voting will start at 7 a.m. on Tuesday, February 20th. Thank you for pointing that out. So the early voting sites that are before you are the sites that I had sent you earlier, except for one. The highlighted number 20 is different. We are not able to use the Banworth Gym on Sherry Road anymore in Mission, so the city had lent us a social event center off of Mayberry. Commissioner Joe Flores expressed the need to continue to have the early vote site on Sherry, so he spoke to Sherryland ISD, and last night they approved to allow us to use their administration building off of North Sherry Road. So that's the only difference that you will see from the schedule that I had sent you previously.
Second.
I have a question or comment, and it might be to letter C, but so that I don't lose my opportunity. I got a call about possibly placing a mobile unit in the Alfredo Gonzalez Texas State Veterans Home. Would that apply to C?
C, yes, sir.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you. Item C is discussion, not yet ready for approval, but discussion of the early voting mobile units for the March 6, 2018 primary elections. So once again, this is the draft that I had sent you already, explaining that these sites that are have a strike-through are because they are now permanent early voting sites. So I gave an opportunity for you to see if there are any early mobile sites that you would be interested in having us look for, making sure that we will check for ADA compliance, and of course making sure that the entity themselves are allowing us to use the location. Also, I'm wanting some feedback on the hospitals that have been very productive polling sites, and making sure that this is the route that this court would like to for us to continue to take. So I would like a discussion or any questions that you may have. And Commissioner Cantu, this would be where you could recommend the site. If you could email me with the information, and we will work through and place them on the schedule, that would be great.
Well, it's a site that I mentioned, so I guess you would check with them to see if it's okay with the administration team.
Exactly. And we would send out our team to make sure that it's ADA compliant.
The Pan Am is now a permanent location?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. UT, RGV,
is what I meant.
and STC as well. The Pecan campus are both permanent sites now.
And how about some of the other, okay, I see the Mid-Valley campuses here now.
Yes, those that are not permanent sites, the other campus, STC nursing campus is also a permanent site. The second sheet, of course, is Mobile 2.
So you'll be taking recommendations until what date?
As soon as possible. We have, of course, our Friday deadline. Actually, it's Saturday, the 20th deadline for our overseas and military ballot. As long as we keep with the two mobile units, we can go ahead and commence our coding. So this is it. You know, it's these two mobile units, and we need to fill them. And if we can give ourselves a deadline of maybe Wednesday, because we'll be working on them today and tomorrow, trying to fill these sites. Hoping to be able to fill every site this late in the game. But let us know. Okay.
All right.
Any other questions?
Yes, can you let the public know when the last day to vote early is in the McAllen elections and the date of the McAllen election? We're running that election.
No, sir. No, sir. McAllen has always run their own elections. So McAllen has never contracted us.
Are you familiar with those dates?
Yes, sir. They have today and tomorrow for their early vote, with their election day being this Saturday. For cities and schools, their election days when they don't run with us are on Saturday. So that's when their last day for to be able to vote for that District 1 will commence on their election day.
Do they use our machines, or do they?
No, sir, they don't.
They have their own?
They have their own, yes, sir.
So we don't need any action on this?
No, sir. No, sir. I just wanted to make sure that you were able to give me any feedback that that you would like for me to consider as we move forward and wrap this up.
Thank you, Ms. Ramon.
Thank you.
Precinct 1, Commissioner Fuentes.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Judge, with respect to 19A, shortly before the meeting this morning, I was informed of some additional facts, and I would ask that we need some time to look at those additional facts, and for that reason, take no action on 19A 1 and 2, and put that on the next agenda.
That's fine with me. I want to make sure that we get this right and clear it up.
Sounds good.
19B, requesting approval to accept the counter offer to purchase a tract of land known as Parcel 47 associated with the Mile 6 West Road Improvements Project.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners, Judge.
Item 20, Precinct 4.
20, we already took up items A and B, so we'll go to item C. Discussion and approval of a town hall meeting to be held on January 24, 2018 by Hidalgo County Precinct 4 at UTRGV. Number 1, authority to execute agreement with UTRGV and Hidalgo County and pay associated fees, $595.
Move for approval.
Second.
Before we vote, there's a public participation form submitted by Ms. Fern McClarity.
Yes, I would just like someone to explain what a STUN theater is and why we were paying $595 there, because like I say, I know the parking is always horrible over there, and then there's a cancellation fee of $50 if we decide not to do it. I know that the county has this room. The county also has over at the courthouse. Also, the city of Edinburgh has the Renaissance. We put $2.5 million in that building. So I was just wondering why we were using this and what it was, that STUN. That's the way it states on the backup.
Student union?
That's just the name of the hall. It's an auditorium.
But why are we paying? I think the question is why pay $595?
Those are just the administrative fees associated with
Judge,
utilizing.
why don't we just take approval of just hosting it and not use county resource for it? I have no problem covering if there is a fee or looking for an alternative site. The idea is to just we've had town hall meetings before related to some of the subject matters that are affecting what is the city of Edinburgh area, and I feel more comfortable if we not find a more suitable spot without fee. If not, we'd cover the fee.
So
I support it. I mean, town hall meetings, you got to move them around to where the people that you're talking to are located. So whatever y'all need from us, I don't have a problem either way.
Yeah.
So I guess approval without the fee?
Yes.
Okay.
So moved. Second.
All right, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
And approval to include UTRGV and Hidalgo County insurance policy for the date mentioned above from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m.
So moved. Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
Thank you.
Item 21, our budget office.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners. Sergio Cruz, Department of Budget Management. Item 21A, 1A and B, is approval to undesignate the amount of $176,397.33 in year 2018, and approval of the appropriation of those funds in the same amount for ongoing repairs to the Anza Duos Park.
So moved. Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 21A2, A and B, is approval to undesignate the amount of $2,789,645.66 in year 2018, and appropriation of those funds in the same amount for courthouse-related expenses.
Is that what you're anticipating based on the calendar that we have with respect to the project manager and architect's fees? I mean, is this an anticipated amount?
No, these are the funds that are available. We had, the court had designated roughly about $4 million about 2 years ago for courthouse-related expenses, sort of as a contingency above and beyond what we had issued in certificates of obligation. We have since used about $1 million for the purchase of the land, and then also some attorney-related expenses that we've had that we did not capitalize. So this is the balance of that amount.
Okay. Well, thank you for explaining. I appreciate that. Move to approve.
Second. Good question.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And item 21A3, A and B, is approval to undesignate the amount of $2,318,927 in fiscal year 2018, and appropriation of those funds in the same amount for expenditures related to the 1115 waiver district program. Again, Commissioners, these are also funds that we have available and that will be rolling over to the next fiscal year. These are not necessarily anticipated that we would expend all of these amounts this fiscal year.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners.
Thank you, sir. Item 22, purchases.
Yes, sir. Martha Salazar, Purchasing Department, 22A. This is a recommendation from contracted architect, including insurance consultant's recommendation in connection with the design and construction of the new Hidalgo County Courthouse to waive the required pollution coverage for the following sub-consultants. This is the three that are listed: Pacheco Koch, WJHW, and McClintock Hirschfield.
Is this at the recommendation of our legal counsel?
Uh,
I mean, because we're talking about the insurance, and we've made insurance a pretty, the pollution coverage, I'm assuming that has something to do with.
Well, these are not the major consultants, these are the subs to them. And so after consultation with the architect and Mr. Comiskey, who is our consultant on the insurance issue, they both agreed. We've got Mr. Garcia here.
Oscar, is that y'all's recommendation?
Can you?
Good morning. Yes, so Charles Comiskey, who is the insurance consultant, recommended that we move forward with this. These are firms that have a small portion of the actual contract. They're also professional services firms. So to get this pollution coverage was kind of above and beyond. And so his recommendation that the liability to the county was minimal, that we move forward with this.
Well, what is it that they're going to, I'm sorry.
Just wanted to make
We're
sure.
just waiving the requirement on pollution
Right,
coverage.
but what is it that these companies are going to be doing?
One is acoustics, one is envelope. So they're professional services versus some of the other firms that actually are doing brick and mortar stuff. Right.
Okay.
Right. And it's covered in another portion of what their requirements are.
We had a public participation form being signed by Ms. McLarity.
Yes. I was looking up the backup on this, and I love what it says. It says, the risk to the county of Hidalgo is slight, should it choose to waive the single requirement. And my question is, what is slight for the county? People love to sue the county. We have deep pockets. So my question was, and down here you have one of the companies, Morrison and Hirschfield, I guess is how you say it, and they're building, and they're saying,
McClintock.
well, this one says Morrison here. There was two places where they talk, and they're saying they too are unable to obtain pollution coverage. And so my question is, why did they ask for it, and then these can't get it? And then my thing was, what is the slight risk to the county?
You can never eliminate any of the risk to the county, but I believe after consultations between architect Jacobs, our legal counsel, and the insurance consultant, they're so far down their obligation, as Mr. Garcia was advising you, that it is worth within your decision.
Well, the kind of work that they're doing does not lend itself
to even be able to purchase it.
And I just wanted legal counsel to give us their guidance, so with that, I'll make the recommendation to approve.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B, this is Colonia Access Program for Precinct 4, requesting exemption, competitive bidding requirements, 262-024A4, professional services for the following. Can we have the exemption first?
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Presentation of the scoring grid for the purposes of ranking of the firms graded and evaluated through the county's approved pool of professional engineering service providers. This is for Ware Country Subdivision. That would be Sames Incorporated at 100, Half Associates at 99, and ICE at 98. Does the court wish to rank them in the order of those scores?
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
The C would be authority for us to commence negotiations with the number one ranked firm of Sames Incorporated.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item D is presentation of scoring grid for the purposes of ranking of the firms graded and evaluated through the county's pool of professional engineering service providers. This is for Green Valley Development Subdivision, Quintanilla Headley and Associates at 100, Alpha Infrastructure at 99, Pettis Consulting Engineering at 98. Does the court wish to rank them in the order of those scores?
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item C would be authority for purchasing to commence negotiating with the number one ranked firm of Quintanilla Headley and Associates.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item C is for the Sheriff's Department. This is acceptance and approval of work authorization 1 with an estimated cost of $35,840 as submitted by project engineer Half Associates Incorporated for the renovation improvements to 2 existing padded cells and 3 new violent offenders padded cells at the Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office. That's for the jail facility in connection with professional engineering services.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And pursuant to Article 14 of the Professional Engineering Services Agreement with Half and Associates, we're requesting approval to engage, they are requesting the approval to engage the subcontractor, Chanin Engineering, with adherence to the insurance provisions.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And item 2 is authority to convert and renovate cells at the Hidalgo County Sheriff's Adult Detention Facility through Hidalgo County's participation with Purchasing Cooperative of America, contract number 100-14, awarded job order contractor, that's Hunt and Woodruff Construction Company, in the amount of $173,738.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item D, this is for Precinct 2, approved an order exempting from competitive bidding requirements under Texas Local Government Code 262-024A, a professional service.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
B is the presentation of the scoring grid of those firms that were graded and evaluated for surveying services. Quintanilla Headley and Associates at 98, ROW Surveying Services at 97, and Hinojosa Engineering at 95. Does the court wish to rank them in the order of those scores?
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item C is authority for the purchasing department to initiate and commence negotiations with the number 1 ranked firm of Quintanilla Headley and Associates.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 2 is exemption also from competitive bidding requirements under 262-024A, a professional service.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Presentation of scoring grid for the purposes of ranking of the firms graded and evaluated through the county's pool of professional appraisal service providers. Professional appraisal services at 98, the Real Estate Center at 97, and Southmost Realty Appraisals and Court Expert Witness at 95. Does the court wish to rank them in the order of those scores?
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And C is authority for purchasing to commence negotiations with the number 1 ranked firm of professional appraisal services, and this is for on-call services for Precinct 2 projects.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
E for Precinct 4, requesting exemption under 262-024A4, a professional service.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Presentation of the scoring grid for the purposes of ranking of those engineering firms that provide professional engineering services for the construction of Carmen Avila Road in Hidalgo County Precinct 4. That would be Strata Group Developing Solutions at 100, Rio Delta at 99, and Guzman and Munoz at 98. Does the court wish to rank them in the order of those scores?
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And C is authority for purchasing department to commence negotiations with Strata Group Developing Solutions for those engineering services for Carmen Avila Road.
So
So
moved.
moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 2 is requesting acceptance and approval of application and service agreement for permanent water meter with North Alamo Water Supply Corporation for Precinct 4's J.R. Milo Ponce Park, with the authority for the county judge to execute the service agreement application.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And item 3 is acceptance and approval for the construction contract documents for Hidalgo County Precinct 4, 10th Street Extension from State Highway 107 to FM 1925. This was approved previously on December the 19th to Texas Cordia Construction in the total amount of $9,142,335.55.
If I can comment before we take, this is originally a project that started years ago, more than 10, 12 years ago. We transferred the responsibility of having to provide construction dollars by getting it from the MPO. So all funds for construction are from state and federal funds. All we did was a professional service. We will be groundbreaking that project in the next couple of weeks and look forward to the construction of that corridor all the way to Monte Cristo Road.
Awesome. Congrats.
Good job. Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item F is for the constables. First is Constable Precinct 2, requesting authorization to purchase and install of exterior vehicle accessories from Texas Tops and McAllen in the amount of $1,987, which includes but is not limited to availability and market price fluctuation.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
And B is requesting authorization to purchase technology equipment for interior vehicle accessories through membership participation with TCPN. CDW is the awarded vendor in the amount of $2,766.90, which also includes but is not limited to availability and market price fluctuation.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Last but not least, item G1, this is for Health and Human Services Department pursuant to Hidalgo County's legal notices, page 2, paragraph 2, approval of Commissioners Court to approve to waive the following technicality of vendor bidder DHR's failure to submit addendum 1, which reflected dates for the deadline to submit inquiries and in no way affected the bid amount for any participant, as it is in the county's best interest to do so. We recommend.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
And B is presentation of the responsible vendor, DHR, submitting the lowest and best bid, including the approval of the contract for the request for bid titled Health Department Laboratory Services for Health Department and Human Services through bid number 193A.
So move.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Did anyone sign up under open forum?
Yes, sir, we do.
We have 3 participants. First participant is Ms. Fern McClarity. I will remind the audience to please respect the speaker's time at the podium. There's a 3-minute time limit, and I will advise when there is 1 minute. Ms. McClarity?
Okay, my first question, last week, Martha from Lupe made a statement that the county paid the light bill for the colonias. Is this true? It was a statement that was in Spanish, and then it was in English, and it said the same thing, that they were thanking the county for paying their electric bills. Is this happening? If it is, I know a lot of people are going to bring you their light bills pretty soon. Another thing we would like to know, the taxpayers also, about the $1,014,221.97 that was paid when we already owned the property as long as the courthouse was built on the square. We don't quite understand what we got for that amount of money when we already owned it. I do understand that there was a cloud on the title talking about the revert. Did it get taken off? It is gone. All right, we would like to, that's the one thing we wanted to know, was that it is off, and if something were to happen and it not be built, then we still, like I say, I can't believe that we did that. And then the other things, the main thing I wanted to thank y'all today was on 13B about the tax office. I understand that they're going to take those 13 windows where we pay our taxes and stuff, and train those people to be able to transfer over to the card tags and stuff where the public goes in. I see men that are taking off from work and standing in line to get their card tags for hours. So I do thank you for that. See, I do say thank you once in a while when y'all do something good.
Thank you, ma'am. Our next presenter is Jay Rodriguez.
Hello. My concerns are with the Sheriff's Department. 6 deputies were taken away from them through the COPS program, and it was not renewed. It is greatly needed. Crime continues to go up. I myself have been a victim of car thefts, home theft, And on my neighborhood, it's constantly getting hit, and we're not in a very low-lying, economic low-lying area, but we're still getting hit quite heavily. So if you could find yourself to renew that for the safety of the public of Hidalgo County, we would be greatly appreciated. The county does need to continue to grow. It's growing, so we need to continue to grow the department with it. And the other thing is, this is for Precinct 4. Over 6 months, I've been waiting for a response from project manager Roman Rodriguez. He continues to tell me that he will get back to me, and fails to, on some items on the streets that were done there, and it have not been met. I've called him, and he says he's going to get with the commissioner and the commissioner's court on that, and it's to no avail to getting those answers. So I would like a response from the gentleman on that, and I would also like to know why some subdivisions that are to the north of my subdivision are getting repaved completely, and ours is not, when ours has been there over 25 years, and theirs was only, I think, 10 or 8 years. And that's it, Commissioners and Judge. Thank you very much. Be safe.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Beth, were you getting?
Pursuant of is that it, Bobby?
Yes, sir. Our last participant already, it was earlier, it was under item 20B, 1 and 2.
All right, pursuant of 551-071 and 072, I would entertain a motion to proceed to executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. We're going to be in executive session for a short while. All right, we are back in open session. Mr. Guerra.
Thank you.
Item 26.
Oh, my apologies. Oh, here it is. Item 26, open session. 26A, there's no action to be taken. 26B, which is real estate acquisition appropriation for same. 26B, pending and or potential litigation, there's no action to be taken. For the record, Judge Garcia will not participate in any discussion on item 26C, cause number C5342-17-C, City of Delano versus County of Hidalgo. We'll just proceed as directed. Okay. And item 26D, claim of Adolfo Cavazos Jr., Judge Commissioners. As a disclosure, we're assigning this to our in-house counsel, Mr. Josephine Ramirez's office, for defense of the county. Steve, do I need to do the exemption?
No, because she is an employee of the county.
Yes. There is no need to act on item 27, which or 28. Before adjournment, we do have a scheduled meeting for next week. And Judge Commissioners, just as a disclosure, I'm working with the Budget Office, and we're working on, along with the Auditor's Office, closure of Period 13 from an accounting standpoint. In the near future, we will go back to our schedule on and off meeting with Commissioners Court. So, but for next week, we do have Commissioners Court.
Second. Those in favor say aye. 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 Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.